RedmondCentral.com with Katie Windham and Mason Smith. I'm Joey Blackwell, and this is Three and Out. Guys, we have a very interesting next couple of weeks here in the SEC, particularly in the SEC West. Obviously, in the East, we have Georgia and Tennessee this weekend that will pretty much essentially decide that division and who goes to the SEC championship game. But in the West, it's a little bit more interesting. We have a three-way tie between Alabama, LSU, and Ole Miss, all with a 4-1 record. The Crimson Tide obviously face LSU this weekend in Death Valley, and then they'll travel to Oxford to face the Rebels the following weekend. Let's start with you, Katie. What are your thoughts on these next couple of weeks, and how important are they for all three of these teams?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way the schedule's set up this year. Where normally this is the latest. We talked about this before the season started. This is the latest in the year Alabama's played Ole Miss since the early 1900s or something. So normally this would be a game that would already be played, but it's just kind of interesting. The three teams atop the West, Alabama plays them. Alabama's one of them and plays the other two back to back so late in the year. So obviously Alabama controls their own destiny in that sense if they take care of business in those two games. I don't believe it will technically clinch even after they beat Ole Miss because they could still potentially lose to Auburn, but it basically, as we talked about in 3-2 Tuesday, it will essentially clinch the West. And so really the whole landscape of college football is interesting this year with, Georgia and Tennessee being 1 and 2 in the East. You have Michigan and Ohio State in the Big Ten, also being in the top four, and those two will battle at the end of the regular season. And then one of them will move on to the Big Ten championship. And then in the West, you have these three teams. LSU has the non-conference loss. Alabama and Ole Miss only have one loss, but obviously in the next 2 weekends, those are all going to kind of take care of each other. And like the Alabama players have been saying and coaches since that Tennessee loss, obviously they did not want to lose that game, but they still control their destiny. And that's kind of what we'll see the next couple of weeks.
Definitely, Katie. I'm really looking forward to see how Alabama, specifically the defense, kind of steps up. We kind of talked about it, in previous episodes where the quarterbacks Alabama's facing, it was Hendon Hooker at first, then it was Will Rogers, who they did do well against. It will be Jaden Daniels this weekend, then it will be Jackson Dart against Ole Miss. So it's a lot of, pressure on the defense to really respond. I do want to see how they kind of step up in these next two games. And of course, with Bryson and Jahmyr Gibbs, sometimes the offense can be very inconsistent. Sometimes they have really big rushing games, really big passing games, and other times those elements can seem non-existent. So I think the biggest thing for Alabama going forward is how consistent can they be on offense, and can the defense really step up against these two dynamic quarterbacks?
Regardless of what happens, it's going to be must-watch college football these next few weeks in the SEC. For BamaCentral.com, I'm Joey Blackwell with Katie Windham and Mason Smith. This has been Three and Out. Thank you so much for watching.